Let me be one of the first people to welcome you to this amazing family that we have here at Living Earth. As a CSR or a customer service rep, you will be one of the first employees that a customer will interact with at one of our locations. And as such, it is vital that you all have a basic product knowledge of what we have here and what we offer here at Living Earth. In this video, we're going to go over this topic right here. So sit back, relax, but don't fall asleep. Get out something to take notes, because at the end of this video, there will be a quiz to go over everything that you learned. So let's go. Okay, so right off the bat, what is mulch? Well, mulch is a material that will cover flower beds, gardens, landscaping areas. A few examples of mulch can be the following: organic, inorganic, and synthetic. Now, organic, that's anything from pine needles to leaves to compost to mulch. Inorganic examples would be gravels, stones, pavers, those kind of things. And synthetic is pretty much anything else that's not natural. Think of like rubber mulch, things of that nature. Okay, here at Living Earth, when we use the term mulch, we are talking about logs, like you see back there behind me, that we have put through a grinder, screened, stacked into a pile, like you see right here beside me, and aged to a finished product. So that is what we are talking about when we use the term mulch. So before we get into the benefits of mulch, let's talk about one thing and how mulch makes your yard or a customer's yard look. We've all driven in neighborhoods and you come around a corner and you see a house that just catches your eye, right? More than likely, it has a really good landscape. That landscape is usually really enhanced by mulch in the flower beds, especially our black mulch, which just pops. Mulch is very healthy for your flower beds and your gardens, which we're going to go over here in just a minute. But the majority of customers come in thinking, hey, I just want my yard to look good. They don't really know the benefits of mulch, or maybe they do, but they don't know all the benefits. Does that make sense? So think about it like that. If a customer is asking, hey, I'm not sure what type of mulch I should use, what's the best mulch, which is a question we get a lot, the answer to that is really simple. What are you looking for? What do you want your yard to look like? Because mulch is very much an aesthetic part of your landscape of a person's home. So as you delve into the questions to help them figure out exactly what they need, that is one of the biggest things you're going to deal with in regards to mulch is how does it make your yard look? Not, hey, how's it going to benefit my plants? But you should still know that also. So let's get into that. Okay, so now that we know what mulch is, let's talk about the benefits of mulch. And we're going to go over these 5 benefits right here in more detail than what you're seeing on the screen. So right off the bat, number 1, we're going to talk about soil improvement that mulch can provide to a flower bed or a garden. Now, mulch is organic, so it will break down over time. As it's breaking down, it is putting nutrients down into the soil, which will only benefit the soil and the plants that are planted in that soil. So mulch isn't just about how it looks from the curb or how it makes your house look. It is also incredibly important for the health of a flower bed and or a garden. Okay, the second point we're going to go over is weed management. Now, as you put mulch on a flower bed, it needs to be between 2 to 3 inches thick. The reason for that is it generates heat at those depths. As it's generating heat, it's killing or deterring or hampering the growth of weeds or weed spores that are in the air that will land on the mulch. Mulch creates a barrier that protects the soil and it helps deter weed growth. So mulching at 3 inches is absolutely where it should be. And you need to know what the formula is so you can help homeowners know how much mulch they need. 1 yard of mulch will cover a 10 foot by 10 foot area, which is 100 square feet at 3 inches deep. So if you sell someone a yard of material, you're already giving them that 3 inches that they need to help deter the weed growth. Also, mulch helps reflect the sun away from flower beds. Now, your flower beds are still going to get hot, but they're not going to get as hot as if there wasn't that layer of mulch there protecting and reflecting the sun. So very important right there. Okay, the third point we're going to go over is water retention. As you water your flower beds and that water seeps through the mulch and gets down to the soil, Well, the top layer of your mulch is going to dry out, which is fine, because again, it's that barrier between nature and the soil. So the soil that's underneath the mulch will actually stay wet longer, watering those plants, which benefits everybody. It benefits the environment, you're using less water. It benefits the homeowner because they aren't using as much water, which saves them money. And it's helping those plants that are in the flower beds. So the water conservation that is utilized when using mulch is just a win-win. That is a really good point to bring up to homeowners when they are talking about what kind of mulches they want, why does it need to be 3 inches thick, etc. Great point right there. Water conservation. Okay, so the fourth point we're going to talk about is a really important point, and that is stabilizing the temperature in a customer's garden. Mulch helps create a regulated soil temp. Does that make sense? If it is super hot outside and the sun is beating down on the flower bed, well, under that barrier, which is mulch, that soil temperature normally stays in an even temperature. It's not going to get super hot like if there was no mulch. Also, in the winter times, mulch helps, again, insulate the flower beds or your gardens to keep the temperatures in the flower beds or gardens. So in the summertime, it helps cool the gardens down, the soils down, which helps the plants. In the wintertime, it helps keep the gardens nice and warm, again, benefiting the plants. The fifth and final point that we're going to go over in this video for mulch is the erosion control aspect of mulch. Now, as you can see in this diagram here, mulch helps, again, create a barrier that protects the soil, not just for the heat and the water and all that, but also from just being eroded away. Think about when it rains really hard and your gutters are just overflowing with water, and you always have that one section that just kind of gets washed away. Well, if you put down a layer of mulch, that helps deter the erosion in that aspect. Also, having a layer of mulch down on flower beds or gardens helps the wind not blow dry soils away. So the erosion control aspect of mulch is, to me, one of the most important parts, along with all of them, but very important for sure. And these 5 points are 5 simple points that you can bring up if a customer is really wanting to know more about the science of mulch, not just the aesthetic appeal that it's going to have when you're driving by their yard. Make sense? So before we finish this video, let me say this real quick. You're going to get a lot of questions covering a wide variety of topics when it comes to landscape materials. There are certain answers that you will need to give based on where you are within the family of living earth, your demographic, your site's location. What might be great for me down here in Houston might not be the answer in Dallas or Tennessee, and vice versa. So when you get certain specific questions, that is where your site manager comes in, and those questions need to go to those site managers. And as they're answering those questions, you as a CSR should be absorbing those answers so then you can answer them on your own. And it's just a constant learning process when it comes to this material and this industry. We're always learning, always. All right, everyone, so that's the end of this video. I hope you were paying attention and taking notes because the quiz is coming up shortly. But before we get to that, I want to once again, on behalf of Living Earth, welcome you to the winning team.